Children, aiming to control air pollution and enhance focus on climate change, the Union Power Ministry may force some dirty coal plants to close. So, if proposal is approved, about 5% of the coal power production will be affected. But here I will say that to gain something, we have to lose also something sometimes. So, for betterment, if we are losing this and for better environmental condition, then there is no harm. So what came in my mind today, that why not I start a fresh chapter, and the name of the chapter is Chemical Effect of Electric Current, because I am content and your feedback also is coming that okay, the every aspect of the previous chapters have been covered up and you are all ready to take up the exam. So we utilize the time and start gaining some fresh knowledge. So chapter Chemical Effect of Electric Current is a closely related chapter to a previous chapter which is also of high importance, and the name of the chapter is Metals and Non-Metals. Why I am saying this, it will get soon clear. So what is chemical effect of electric current? Children, you might have got a good idea about the heating effect of electric current and magnetic effect of electric current. So here I am bringing a new type of effect which is generated by electric current, and that is your chemical effect of electric current. The topic is new and the knowledge will be also new, so it will I think that it will be a quite interesting journey for you. So, what is chemical effect of electric current? Let us understand first. It is nothing but the passage of an electric current, means the flow of electric current through a conducting liquid. What is conducting liquid? It is a type of liquid which can conduct electricity. As you know that the metals conduct electricity, but here I will give you some new idea about the liquids also which can conduct electricity, children, and it is really very interesting. So that causes chemical reaction. That is why we are studying it in the branch of science which is chemistry. What is chemical effect of electric current? Otherwise electric current you have studied in physics, but why we are studying it in chemistry? It is only because of the through chemicals we will try to generate the electric currents, and we will know that how to generate the chemical effect of electric current through chemicals. Since I am prepared today just to give you the introduction of the chapter, the introduction part becomes very important because it will raise your interest in the topic, and at the same time it will make clear some of the very important terms which will be repeated time to time in this chapter. So we will study about the terms which are coming to be frequently used in this chapter, and these terms will be very general, from very low level. I can say that I am starting because these ideas you have already gained in your junior classes, that what is conductor, but you know about the conductor and insulator, but I will add on some knowledge in it also. This will not be the identical knowledge that you have get. So what is conductor? If I ask you, you will quickly reply that any material or any substance that allows electricity to flow through them. And what will be the insulator? Then you will say that okay, it is just the opposite of the conductor and it will not allow the electricity to pass through it. Then I am saying that what are the bodies which are responsible to flow the electricity? Children, these are the electrons. The electrons are nothing but the very fine fundamental particles which are found in the atoms of every metal and non-metal. So these electrons are responsible to carry the electricity. So you can understand that electrons and electricity sound also very similar. So electrons are responsible to move the electricity. The mobility of the electricity is due to the mobility of the electrons. And these electrons are actually called delocalized electrons. Means delocalized means what? Which is not stationary, which is moving. So as I told you that I will not restrict myself just by telling you the conductor and insulator which you already know, but here I will go a level higher, because the conductor is right, but insulator in my opinion is not right. Why? Because every substance is a conductor. It can be either a very good conductor or poor conductor or very weak conductor, but it will conduct electricity to some extent. Every substance will conduct electricity to some extent. If the electricity conduction is not, अगर ये बहुत अच्छी नहीं है कि मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि जिसको आप हम कैचअप कर पाए किसी डिवाइस से, अगर हम उसको कैचअप नहीं कर पाते उस इलेक्ट्रिक करंट को, तो हम उसको इंसुलेटर जो आप कह रहे हैं उसकी कैटेगरी में डाल सकते हैं, लेकिन वो पुअर कंडक्टर कहना सही होगा, ना कि इंसुलेटर. So if the substance allows to flow very little much of electric current, very less electric current, then you will call it what? Bad conductor. And if it is if it has shown good affinity towards the electric current and it allows it, then it will be what? It will be a good conductor. And if an average of electric current is flown, and then it will be a general conductor, not very good nor poor conductor, but it will be also a conductor, average conductor. Now here I have raised a big question, and the question is, can liquids conduct electricity? Children, you know that the metals conduct electricity because the metals have some free electrons, and these electrons start moving if we provide them some external energy. If the external energy is provided in the form of electricity, then the electrons will come out and they will start moving, and the particle to particle they will carry the electric current, and that's how the electrons, on the movement of the electrons, the electricity will be conducted. In metals, they are very hard and solid substances. But what happens in the case of liquids? Because the metals are solid, so here we are talking about the liquids. Liquids also can conduct electricity. Answer is simple, that yes, they can conduct electricity, but not all liquids. Specific liquids can conduct electricity, and these liquids which can conduct electricity will break down on the passage of electricity into charged particles, and these charged particles are carrying the electrons in them, and that is how the electricity will start flowing. So the liquids which can conduct electricity will be a good conductor of electricity naturally. Then how to make a liquid conducting? Either you dissolve some type of salt in it, like common salt or copper sulfate salt, or you can say any other salt, or some acid, or some bases, or some soap solution, which are basic substances, some lemon juice, vinegar, etc., which are acidic substances. And these substances, which are either salts, acids and bases, will make the liquid conducting. Then what will happen? If the distilled water you have taken, then it may not can conduct electricity, because the distilled water does not have any salt dissolved in it. Because I am always telling that to make the liquid conducting, it is very important that it has some either salt or acidic or basic substances dissolved in it. Now just look at this tabular form where I am ready with the list of some liquids which are the general liquids of our day-to-day life, and we will try to know that whether they will conduct electricity or not. So distilled water will be a poor conductor. Why? Because it will not conduct that much electric current which will be useful to us. And then tap water will conduct electricity because it has some dissolved salts in it, and lemon juice will be also a good conductor because it is an acidic substance. But vinegar, which is a very poor acid, very weak acid, will be also a conducting liquid but a very poor conductor. Then cooking oil will also be a poor conductor because oils have some acidic substances in it, like fatty acids, etc. But these acids are also very weak, and that is why it is also poor conductor. In milk we have lactic acid, and it can conduct electricity, but the catching up of the electricity in the milk is a little different, and that I will tell you in future. Then soda compounds. You know that the soda is nothing but it is related to the basic substances, and they are good conductor. Mercury is metal, but it is a liquid metal, so naturally it will be a good conductor. And fuels are the combustible substances. It will be a poor conductor of electricity. Now try to know that what will we call those liquids which can conduct electricity. हम उन liquids को कहेंगे क्या जिनमें इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंडक्ट करने की कैपेबिलिटी है, तो हम उसको इलेक्ट्रोलाइट कहते हैं. The general term that is used to denote or to call a conducting liquid is your electrolyte. What are electrolytes? Electrolytes, as I have told you, that these are the conducting liquids and they are called electrolytes, and these electrolytes are what type of mixtures? They are mixtures. Why? Because they are the mixtures of some acid, bases or salts dissolved in water, and that electrolyte will break down into ions when the electricity will be passed through it, and this will become very, very useful. When the electrolytes break down on the passage of electricity, then they generate chemical effect of electric current. This is our topic of today, and without the electrolyte we cannot generate the chemical effect of electric current. That is why electrolyte becomes one of the most important, you can say, desirable thing in generating the chemical effect of electric current. Some common example of electrolyte, I am ready with the examples like copper sulfate solution, lemon juice in water, or lemonade also we call it, that is a good electrolyte. And then water with soap solution with soap dissolved in it, etc., can be good electrolyte, and they will break down into their charged particles. And these charged particles are what? These charged particles are ions. So ions are what? They carry electron, and these electrons are these electrons generate the chemical effect of electric current. So in metals, electrons are responsible to carry the electric current, but in electrolytes, ions are responsible to carry the electric current. So here I am dividing the ions into two types, and that is your cations and anions. What are cation? It is nothing but the positively charged ion. Ions are of two types. One has positive charge over it and another has negative charge over it. Why any ion will have positive charge? When the ion will lose electron, by losing electron they gain positive charge. Why it happens, children? Just try to know. Inside the atom, basic two particles are protons and electrons, which carry charge. Protons carry positive charge and electrons carry negative charge. Apart from that, neutrons are also there, but these are the neutral particles, so they are not responsible for any type of generation of charge. So if and proton and electron always remain equal in number. So if any metal or non-metal loses electron, generally metals lose electron because they have either 1, 2 or 3 extra electrons, and then that number is actually 8, which we call octet. So that extra number of electron from the octet generates अनस्टेबिलिटी. क्या होता है कि एक ऑक्टेट एक ऐसी मैजिकल नंबर है, उस नंबर को अगर कोई भी एटम अटेन कर ले तो वो स्टेबल हो जाता है. उसकी स्ट्रक्चर नोबल गैसेस जैसे हीलियम, आर्गन, नियन, क्रिप्टन, जेनन जैसी हो जाती है, और वो फिर बिल्कुल स्टेबिलिटी गेन कर लेता है और नॉन रिएक्टिव हो जाता है. तो अगर कोई मेटल है तो उसके आउटर मोस्ट शेल में शेल्स होते हैं, एनर्जी लेवल्स होते हैं, 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन या 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन या 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन जो होते हैं वो प्रेजेंट होते हैं. अगर उनको वो लूज कर दे तो उसके पहले वाला जो शेल है उसमें 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेजेंट होते हैं और वो उसको स्टेबिलिटी देते हैं. दैट इज वाई इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर लॉस्ट इन द केस ऑफ मेटल्स एंड दे फॉर्म कटायन, बिकॉज व्हेन द इलेक्ट्रॉन विल बी लॉस्ट, व्हाट विल हैपन? द नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स विल बिकम मोर, एंड दैट चार्ज विच इज मोर विल बी द फाइनल चार्ज. यू नो व्हाट इज इंटीजर. So that is why these are the metallic, and sodium is metal. Hydrogen is not metal, but it is metallic in nature. Magnesium is metal, calcium is metal, copper is metal. They all will make cation by losing electron. Now try to understand about the anions. As I am telling you that they are also a type of ion, but they are oppositely charged than cation. What are anions? They are negatively charged ion. And how do they gain negative charge? They gain negative charge by not gaining electron. not losing electron but gaining electron. One thing is very confusing here. Children always get confused that how by losing electron the charge comes plus and how by gaining electron charge comes minus, because plus we always associate, हम लोग प्लस तभी सोचते हैं जबकि जब कोई चीज़ गेन होती है तो हम लोग कहते हैं कि अच्छा कुछ एडिशन हुआ तो मतलब प्लस साइड में गया, और कुछ अब जब हमारे साइड से कुछ लूज होती है तो हम कहते हैं कि अच्छा कुछ तो नेगेटिव हो गया. तो ये यहाँ पे कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं अप्लाई होगी. Here what concept will be applied, that losing electron means more proton, means more positive charge, as I am always telling that they are equal in number, positive and negative charge, and gaining electrons means more negative charge, that is why than positive charge, that is why it will be what, an anion, because the what charge is more in number will come as the final charge. And non-metals gain electron, children, because they have either 5, 6 or 7 electron in their outermost shell, so they gain either 1, 2 or 3 electron and they become octet. They gain the stability by attaining the structure of octet. So this is what fluorine, which is a non-metal, and fluoride ion, oxide ion, chloride ion, etc. are the common, and a sulfide ion are the common ions. So I conclude my today's lecture with the introduction of one more term which is also highly useful in understanding the chemical effect of electric current, and that is your electrodes. So what are electrodes? Electrodes also are very, very important feature in generating the chemical effect of electric current. Electrodes do what? What is their function? They are actually the conducting material. Tell me what is conducting material? Conducting material will be what? Metallic in nature, and a non-metal, which is your graphite, also is a conducting. So either it will be made up of metals like zinc, aluminium, copper, iron, or graphite means carbon rod. So they will be in the shape of either rod or wire, and that is your electrode, and they remain dipped inside the electrolyte. They remain in the contact of electrolyte, that solution which can conduct electricity. So two rods or two wires or two any other shape of material which are metallic in nature are called electrodes, and they are also oppositely charged. Why? Because there is a positive electrode and there is a negative electrode, and there is a battery also to start the circuit. So that battery has two terminals. One terminal is a positive terminal, another terminal is a negative terminal. So that terminal which remains connected with the one electrode, that electrode will be your anode. So anode remains connected with the positive terminal of the battery, and it collects oppositely charged ion, which is your anion. Anode is positive terminal, but the anion is your negatively charged ion. This you must keep clear in your mind. And just contrary to that, ठीक इसका उल्टा, cathode is that terminal, that type of electrode which remains connected with the negative terminal of the battery, and it collects what? Cation. Cation, as I have told you, you must be knowing that a cation is the positively charged ion, and it goes towards the cathode. So here what principle is working? Principle is your electrostatic forces of attraction, means the oppositely charged substances attract each other. So here oppositely charged are what? Anode towards anion, anode positive, anion negative, cathode towards cation. Cathode positive, and cathode is negative terminal, and the cations are what? Positively charged ion. So for today, I think that if I give you much knowledge in just one day, because the difficulty level of the chapter is little bit higher than the previous chapter, so we will proceed slowly, gradually, but surely.